Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 Chevy 1500 LT. Now the LT trim is most likely going to be the trim package that a lot of people are going to go for, and it's kind of like the middle of the line trim. Not quite a work truck, but then not a super expensive, fully loaded bad boy. That being said, we're going to do a quick walk around on the LT, and then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. This vehicle is being provided to us by Larry H. Miller Chevy here in Murray. If you're on the market for a new Chevy, check these guys out, and if you are stopping in for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Under the hood here, we have a 5.3 liter V8 that's routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's going to be good for 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. In terms of fuel economy numbers, you're going to get 17 around town and 23 on the highway on the high side of things with this motor. Other than that, they keep things pretty simple. It is a naturally aspirated V8 and all of that. Wrapping things up front, we have Chevy's large, imposing front end. So this actually has the upgraded headlights, so they are reflector LEDs with some LED accent lights. And then you can see they kind of have some blacked out accents on the grille. Got the Chevy bow tie logo front and center. There's some tow hooks just down below. And then the rest of this is all chrome on the front, so basically for stylistic purposes. But it's nice that you can get the upgraded headlights on this package. You don't have to go for the fully upgraded package to get those lights. And then if we actually look over here on the side fender, we can see the Z71 badging, and then we've got the traditional kind of lines that go on all of Chevy's hoods. Around the side here, we have these 18-inch rims. They do have 265mm tires on them. You can see these tires are just a little bit more aggressive than normal tires because this is the Z71 package, but they're not quite crazy off-road tires or anything like that. Stepping around to the back here, we've got the key fob for the LT. We can see it's got a couple functions, lock and unlock, and then we've got a remote start function here, and then you have the tailgate release. So if we lock it and then hold this down for just a moment, that 5.3 liter will start right up, and then if you press it again, it'll shut off. Now if we press this button twice, that's what will lower down the tailgate, and it's nice that you can get that function even on this package. You can see that there's like liner already on this part of the tailgate. You can get spray and bed liner on the rest of the bed if you want, but you can always add that in after the fact. You can see kind of where the wheel wells pop up in the bed. This is the shorter size bed. You can get a longer bed with the truck, but this is what most people are going to go for, is this side of bed. And then you can see that we've got some LED bed lights back here on top of that. Picking up the bed, it's actually light. Just the very top portion gets a little bit weighted. You can see the backup camera back there, Silverado, LT badging. You got the nice little step here, so it's easier to get in and out of the bed. And then we have the dual exhaust for that 5.3 liter V8. Tow package is just down there with all of the plug-ins right over there. We've got keyless entry here, so one touch to lock it and unlock it. And I'm glad that they put that in the rear. We can see the door panel here, so we've got some soft touch right there. And then we've got our window control right here with the door handle. And then I have the seats split like that just to show you kind of the storage space. You can pick up these seats for storage space underneath. They've got some rubber floor mats with this particular package. You can see the little vents back there, some charging stations. You can see the extra storage space that you get underneath. And then these are just the regular seats, so there's no like little pull-out cubby or anything like that on the seat. But other than that, you keep things pretty simple and pretty standard back here. Now I've got the keyless entry for the front. So one touch to lock it, and then you just press it again, that'll unlock it. And we'll see that the front panel actually looks a little bit different than the rear. So we've got some stitching up here in the front, soft touch. We've got this wood trim. All of our controls for the windows are gonna be right here, our mirror controls, and then our lock and unlock door handle again just right there. Looking at the seat here, we can see we've got some power adjustments on the seat. Got adjustments for the lumbar. And this is the LT, so you've got cloth seats. You actually get some stitching on them, but the bolsters are nice and wide, so it's really comfortable to sit in them. And the cloth is kind of this more like durable cloth. Just down there, you can see the pedal. You got the little hood release. This is for your parking brake. You got all your headlight controls right here. I usually just leave in automatic mode. Cargo light, and then we have our different drive modes. Got a little flag for the race mode. You got the tow mode, and then you have auto, 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and then 4-wheel low. Stepping in step and height's actually really good. To start up the LT, we just have to push the brake and push the push button. Gauges will do a little bit of a sweep. And then back on the step and height, I would recommend side steps with the truck. All half-ton trucks pretty much need them. Looking at the steering wheel here, we have all of our controls for the center screen. We'll go over that momentarily. Your Bluetooth and phone controls are gonna be right there. Actually do get a heated steering wheel. All of your cruise controls right here, and then there's some rocker panels on the back of the steering wheel to control the radio stations. You've got your little column shifter here. You can shift the gears manually if you want, and then just a traditional turn stock, I should say, and then windshield wipers as well right there. We've got our gauge cluster set up right here. So over on the right hand side, we have the speed. On the left hand side, we've got the RPMs, and then we've got a whole bunch of other gauges like the fuel gauge, and then you got your like engine temperature gauge, all of that. And then there's these little menus in that center screen that you can scroll through. I'll just scroll through a bunch of these menus for all of you so that you can see the different bits of information that you can see in the vehicle. There's not a whole lot, but I mean, it just gives you pretty much any bit of information that's actually important on the truck. Now this is the fun part. This is Chevy's upgraded infotainment screen, and you can get the upgraded screen even in this LT trim. It's very, very responsive touchscreen wise. You can see that you do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Those are an option on this. You can see for your trailer lights, that's pretty cool. OnStar is going to come with all the Chevys. You can get a Wi-Fi hotspot if you want, but this is where you can do all your Bluetooth, radio, everything's going to be through this touchscreen. It's a good unit overall. And while we're on the touchscreen, let's go over the camera system. So if we pop it into reverse, we can see a backup camera will pop up. You got some trajectory lines, and then all the Chevys come with this new like trailer mode, so it puts a line right in the middle so that it's easier to hook up to your trailer so you know exactly where you're going. Just down below, we've got our analog controls for the screen, radio controls right there, and then we do get a dual zone climate in this LT trim. So you have different climate for the driver and passenger, and then these are your heated seat controls, so you can have it just on the back or on both. And then we've got some other controls just over here. So hill descent control, stability control, that's your hazard lights, that's to drop the tailgate. And then this does come with auto stop start to save on fuel. Trailer brakes are just down there. USB and USB 2, you got a little 12 volt, and then you can get an option, this doesn't have it, but you can get an option for a power outlet. That's kind of where that little rubber thing is. This particular LT is a bench seat, so we've got some cup holders right here. Get some extra storage underneath, and then this does pull up to be a whole nother seat, so you can have 6 passengers in the truck. And then if we pull this up, there's storage under the seat, so that's pretty normal. Most trucks that have a bench seat will do that, so it's nice that Chevy still offers some extra functionality there. Now speaking on storage, we do get a dual glove box, and we can see you get storage on the top and the bottom, so it's nice that they give you that added utility. And while on that, we have the dash, so we've got some stitching on the dash, and the rest of it's just kind of like soft touch material, so it's nice that they at least give you some soft touch. There is some kind of like harder plastics just down below. Looking up here, we have all of our controls for the lights. You actually have the little microphones for the Bluetooth system, and then it is a fixed window, so there's no power rear setting window or function to open up the window. It's just fixed glass back there. Now that we've gone over all the features on the LT package, let's see how this drives with the 5.3 liter V8 and the 8-speed automatic transmission. I was actually going to review an RST today, but it's sold or something like that. Kind of sad. I will get something like that out for you guys though, because I think that package looks really, really neat. That being said though, let's start off in the LT. Well, for the first time in forever, there's like no traffic, which is good for me. And so far, this 5.3 liter V8 with the 8-speed automatic transmission, super solid. I feel like it's more than enough power and torque, and it's going through the gears really quickly and smoothly on this 8-speed. Visibility throughout the LT is really good, so visibility through both the sides is good. There's a little convex mirror on the left side, and then throughout the back it's really good as well. There's not really any blind spots, and like most pickup trucks, you can pretty much see everything around you since you're above most of everyone. Now let's take a little turn here to see the steering feel. Steering is really light and effortless, and it's pretty direct. This truck is super easy to maneuver. I mean, most of these half-ton trucks are really easy to drive, especially if you get the shorter bed that this truck has. In terms of ride quality and road noise, with these tires, there's a little bit more road noise, but it's not bad by any means. Ride quality is pretty smooth. This is definitely higher up there in the segment on both of those qualities. Let's turn here and get a little acceleration with the LT in this 5.3 liter V8. Yeah, that has more than enough power and torque. I wouldn't really feel like I would have a need for more power. The 6.2 would be awesome, but it's almost overkill, and this is definitely going to get better fuel economy compared to that motor. And this is actually probably the setup that, like I said, most people are going to get package-wise, just because of where it, you know, ends up price-wise. You know, most of these trucks before any dealer or manufacturer discounts are right around that like $50,000 range, and so definitely a lot more affordable than the $60,000+ bad boys. Now, to sum things up on the LT, this is in that same segment as like the Ram 1500 Bighorn, and you'll have the Ford XLT. Those are the two main competitors against this truck. And I mean, all of these trucks are so similar. They all have pretty similar features to them. The interiors on them are pretty similar, and the manufacturers, this is kind of where they're like bread and butter, I guess I would say. This is the deal truck that you would get. So if you're kind of wanting the best bang for your buck, you kind of want more luxury features, you don't want to buy a work truck too, that's the biggest thing, is this just doesn't feel or look like a work truck, then the LT is definitely the package to go for. It's not going to be as eye-wateringly expensive as something like an LTZ or a High Country, but you're still going to get quite a few luxury amenities to make this a very comfortable truck to drive on a daily basis. And there we have it, everyone, the 2019 Chevy 1500 LT. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Chevy here in Murray for providing us with the vehicle. If you're on the market for new Chevy, check these guys out. That being said though, if you are stopping for the first time, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and I'll see all of you in that next video.